Welcome to a new video from DataValley, and in this video we will discuss the difference between ETL and ELT and why you should care about the difference between both of them. Let's say first, what are the main components for any data engineering pipeline or any data pipeline in general? The first part is about data generation. We have different sources that are generating data. We have batch sources that generating data in batches. So it may be in hours or maybe in days, months, or weeks. And we have streaming sources that are generating data in real time, such as IoT sensors, for example, temperature sensors, access sensors, and so on. And we have the data storage and processing. So we capture this data from the data generation sources, or as we call it, source systems. Then we store it in somewhere, like a data warehouse, a data lake, or any kind of storage. And maybe we will need to do some processing. We need to extract insights from this data or reshape it in a different way. Last part is about data consumers. After we capture the data, did a little bit of transformations, then it's time now to extract insights from it. So maybe in this stage, we can use some analytical tools or some business intelligence tools, such as Power BI, Tableau, and so on. Or maybe we can build like a machine learning use case or an AI use case based on this data. So create prediction, for example, create clustering, create classification, whatever problem we have. Or we can just present what we have on a web application or a mobile application. So these are the main three components in any data pipeline. So ETL or ELT, what is the position of these terms in the full data pipeline? ETL or ELT is the data transfer from one place to another place. So if we have an ETL tool, this is the tool that's responsible to transfer data from one place to another place and do some transformations. ELT is the same. It's moving data from one place to another place and doing the transformations. We will know what is the difference between both of them. But in general, the concept is ETL or ELT is moving data from one place to another place and doing some transformation or reshaping of the data. So ETL or ELT will be in this layer, in the data ingestion layer, or maybe here in this layer as well, moving data from storage processing to consumer layer. And if we take a little bit close look on data storage and processing, we can see that the data lake can have multiple layers inside it. Standard now, we have three layers. We have raw data layer, we have enrichment, and we have gold layers. So between these layers, you will need as well an ETL or a data integration tool to move data from one layer to another layer. So now we know the main components of any data pipeline and where ETL or OLT is positioned. What ETL stands for? E is for extract. As we described, we are extracting information from different systems with different types, either it's a batch data or a streaming data. T for transform, and we are transforming data. We are reshaping the data, changing the data, how it looks. Maybe we can do some aggregation. We can join between multiple data sets that are coming from different systems. Then we load the final results. After we do the transformation, we loading the final results to a destination or a target system. It can be a database, it can be a data lake, or whatever target system we have. So ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. So what is the difference? As name implies, we can see that we are moving the letter T either in the middle or at the end. And as we knew, E is for extract, L is for load, and T is for transformation. So the difference is when we are going to do transformations. Are we going to do transformation directly after we extracting the data from the source, then load it to the target, or we are going to just extract the data as it is, load it to target system, then the target system will do the transformation for us. So in the first one, we are relying on the ETL tool or the solution to do the transformations, then load the final results to the target system. In the second option, we are relying on the target system to do the transformation. So it can be a database, and all the transformations will be SQL-based transformations. So after we extract the data, load it to target system, the database will run the logic or the reshaping of the data based on a SQL transformations. So this is the main and simple difference between both of them when we are going to do the transformations. In ETL, we are doing in the middle, so we do all what we need for reshaping, joining, aggregation, whatever transformations we are doing before load the final results to the target system. Here we are extracting the data loaded to a system as a staging or as just a copy of the source system as it is. And on the target system, we will rely on the capabilities and features of the target system to do the transformation step. Let's do a zoom in on ETL and ELT. Because ETL allowing us to do the transformation before loading the final results to the target system, we have an opportunity to do data quality. So we can extract the data from the source system, which could have a bad quality of data, and using the transformation, we will fix these data quality issues and load the final results to the target system with high quality, which can help us as well in compliance. So we have some compliance or some standards that enforce us to load the data to the final system with high quality, or maybe masking the data. So if we have some personal information in the source system, the standard regulation or the compliance enforce us to do masking or doing protection of this information before load it to the target system. So ETL allows us to do this kind of transformations or this kind of compliance. And as we implied, we have now control on what type of data and what shape of data we are loading to the target system. And we use this control to get compliant and to fix our data quality issues. Other difference is in ETL, the processing will be on the tool. The tool will do the processing or do the transformations. So if you got a tool like Informatica, for example, which is a leader as their latest Gartner report for the last 10 years or maybe 11 years, it's a leader in data integration as an ETL tool. So all the processing will be done using Informatica. So we will extract the data. Informatica will load the data partially on its servers. Then it will do the processing and load the final results to our target systems. Last point about ETL is time consuming because before loading the data to the target system, we have to identify and implement the transformations we will apply on the source system data before loading to the target system. So everything must be set and everything must be in place before loading the data to the target system. So we should know the exact source system structure and what we are going to do with it, what kind of transformations, what kind of quality issues we will fix, and so on, before loading the data to the target system. So development of ETL jobs may consume some time. And it's, by the way, it's a perfect case for a data warehouse. Because as a data warehouse, some of you might know that we need to have a defined structure and defined transformation starting from the source to the target system. Okay, what about ELT? So as we understood in ELT, the situation is different. We extract the data, we load it to a target system. Either it's a schema in a database, it's a part of data warehouse, or it's in a data lake. We load the data as is. So if the data has quality issues, it will be the same on the target system. If it has personal information, it will be the same on the target system. Then we rely on the target system or on the database to do that transformation for us. So we will rely on the target system to run our quality fixes based on a SQL, for example, if the target system is a database. In general, we're relying on the target system to do what transformations we need to do. To do, for example, data quality fixing, for example, masking for high sensitive data. One of the famous tools for that is Fivetran, which is a very famous cloud solution for ELT.
From that, what are the advantages of ELT? Fast ingestion. We don't have to think about it. We just take the data as it is with the same structure from the source system and dump it into the target system without any change. It's really suitable for big data use cases because in big data use cases or in big data in general, it's not necessarily that you know everything about the data, or it's not mandatory that you know exactly how we will use this kind of data. And this is the whole point of data lake. It's just to load the data as it is to a data lake. Then later on, you can think about how you can get insights from this data, how you can extract your KPIs from this data. So ELT is really perfect for big data use cases or ingesting the data to a data lake. And as we mentioned, the processing will be on the target system, either a data warehouse or a data lake. So these are really the difference between both of them and what are the best use cases for ETL or ELT. We have another concept which is called ETLT, which is mixed between both of them. So in this concept, we're extracting the data from source system, doing light transformations, like fixing some data quality issues, maybe masking some personal data. So we are doing on-the-fly transformations to fix quality issues, maybe masking some personal data or other kinds of data. Then load a clean version or almost clean version to a target system. Then on the target system, we are doing the heavy transformations, the heavy logic we have on the target system. So we got the best of both worlds. We didn't neglect data quality issues or masking the personal data. So we fixed that or we tackled this problem by doing a transformation before loading the data to the target system. And still we have the heavy processing or heavy transformations of the data on the target system. Let's now move to the last point, which is how you select your ETL or ELT tool. We have many tools in the market. So in this slide, I will give you some criteria that based on you can select the best tool for you. The first layer of ETL tool or ELT is extraction. And to do extraction, you have to connect to different systems. So you can compare between tools based on how many connectors they have. One tool maybe can connect to 100 systems, other tool can connect to 200 systems. And you need to think about, do you really need 200 connectors or 100 will be enough for you? So this is a critical parameter to judge ETL or ELT tool. The roadmap, do they have as a tool or as a company, do they have continuous development and continuous upgrade for their ETL solutions? Because no solution is perfect. So it will make you feel more safe if the company or the solution owners always update their solution with bug fixes or maybe adding more features. Pricing, which is a very, very important factor, is is the price is very low or very high or you can afford it. Support system, do they have support system? Do they have community? Do they have support team? Security, and especially if you are using an ETL or an ELT tool on the cloud. So you should ask about security, how the data is secure, and how I make sure that the data is secure when moving from one layer to another layer, what features each tool has, and standards evaluation, like Gartner, how Gartner is evaluating this tool. So you can review Gartner compliance metrics, and you can check the rank of this tool on Gartner report. So this was a quick introduction about ETL and ELT and what are the difference and why you should care, because you need to know the difference to see which tool is the best for your use case. And as well how you can select or how you can compare between different ETL or ELT tools. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.